Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new IndieTips.com tutorial here on Ugly McGregor. Now I have been gone for quite a while. I have been busy making some things and laying the foundation of things to come, and a lot have changed for the channel. We have over 30 new tutorials to publish throughout this year, a load of new sponsors, so we'll be bringing you some exclusive offers and freebies, some competitions with some great prizes, but more on all this at a later date. This is just a brief setup tutorial. Now, a good handful of the tutorials that will be touched upon throughout the year will likely involve After Effects. Now, I know not everyone has a 4K editing workstation, so if you have the run-of-the-mill computer, or you may have added some RAM or a graphics card, tweaking these settings are really going to help optimize your After Effects experience, as well as make some things inherently easier. Also, as a side note, if you follow me on social media, you may know, to the point of this recording, that I had surgery last week, so please excuse any coughing or moaning, as I can't properly talk yet, and if you hear me fall into the floor, I'm dead. So let's open up After Effects. I know I'm going to get some comments about that picture. That's by the comic artist Sean Murphy. I'm just going to open up a new composition and import some movie files for the sake of the tutorial. Okay, so that's done. Let's optimize After Effects. First, go to Edit, and at the very bottom, click Preferences. If you didn't know, this is where you can adjust all of your settings. On General Settings, we are going to change the level of undo. Now, the more RAM you have, the better. Well, the more RAM you have for anything really, the better. From 8 to 12 gigabytes, you're probably going to be good from 50 levels of undo. Next, you're going to go down and tick Default Spatial Interpolation to Linear. At the end of this video, I will show you what this is for. We're going to check Allow Scripts to write files and access networks. And finally, check Dynamic Link with After Effects uses project file name with highest number. So what does this one do exactly? As you may know, Adobe has a feature called Dynamic Link. Now this is a feature which allows you to directly import live edits from other Adobe softwares, such as Premiere and so on. Now it's quite advisable to create a different save with every major edit, so you can go back to a previous stage. Now you can do this by clicking Increment and Save. Now let me just show you what I mean. I'm going to go ahead and set up a folder here. Let me just save a few more times. And now I have multiple saves which have been automatically numbered. Now, by checking Dynamic Link with After Effects uses project file name with the highest number, Dynamic Link is automatically going to import the save with the highest number. So let's go back up to Preferences. And this time we're going to want to go to Display. Now you're going to want to check Disable Thumbnails in the project window. Now, this is a 50-50 thing. If you have a decent computer and you're working with a small amount of video clips, then don't worry too much. But if you do find things are slow and your rendering's taking forever, check this off. Now what this will do, it will move the thumbnail preview of your clips, your pictures, and whatever else you have in your project pool. So it's advisable to obviously name your footage if you are going to check this. Again, this tutorial is based towards people who don't have supercomputers. Using this is going to help. So next we are going to go down to Media and Disk Cache. So what is the cache? You may have seen on your browser, possibly when you needed to delete browser history so your friends don't see the dodgy websites that you've been looking at, and you may have seen clean browser cache. So in regards to After Effects, as you work on a composition, After Effects will temporarily store some of the rendered frames and source images in your RAM, so that previewing and editing can occur more quickly. So it's the same kind of thing on a website browser. When you log into a website for the first time, it might be a little bit slow. After a few more sessions, things will load up quicker. Say the Facebook logo and your profile picture, all this is cached into your browser cache. Now, with this option here, what this does is sometimes you might not have enough RAM to cache everything that needs to be cached. So instead, After Effects will store the cached media to the disk. So the more hard drive space you have available, the more you'll be able to cache, the faster you'll be able to move in After Effects. Now it is recommended that you store the disk cache on a separate drive to your footage. And if the drive is an SSD, even better. A solid state drive is faster and it's going to work to your advantage. As a side note into that comment actually, while I think about it, if you can have your footage, the actual software, and the disk cache all on separate drives, is going to work to your advantage. Next, step down to Appearance. Now I recommend checking Cycle Mask Colors. Now by default, the mask color is a bright yellow outline. So if you select this option, every single mask becomes a different color and it's much easier to identify when working with the mask layers. And, if we're going to be doing some color correcting, because a lot of these tutorials that I'll be doing is about the film look, we'll be doing a lot of mask work. It becomes a lot easier. You can see which one is what. So next, go down to autosave, and you want to be saving every 5 minutes at a maximum of 10 projects. And finally, memory and multiprocessing. Here you can select how much of your RAM will be solely designated for After Effects. It's in your best interest to really give it as much as you can. Now, everything we have done here is going to make your process a little faster and help you in the long run. Now, let me get back to the spatial interpolation to linear. Why did I click this? So to demonstrate, let me just create a new comp. I'll untick the change from earlier. And I will create a text layer. Now I want this text to go from one side to the other. P for position, click the stopwatch to create a keyframe. Now I'll move the text across the screen. Okay, so let's then say I want to stop it in the middle. So I create a keyframe. Copy and paste it to create a pause within the movement. Now when I play it back, this happens. Now this is known as the woggly keyframe. This can happen with a new camera layer, an effect, essentially anything you pause and move. Now to fix this at any given moment, you right click, you set keyframe interpolation, changing the spatial interpolation to linear. As we play that back, boom, job done. Now if we go back up to the preferences and keep that little option checked, that's going to make that happen automatically, so you're not going to run into this issue as much. So now your After Effects should have a little bit more juice, but when we get into some more elaborate tutorials later this year, that's not to say you're going to have to wait 6 months. There will be more stuff coming out within the next few weeks. Catch you soon.